Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is the Chaotic Portal with my co-host KCDG in the building.
Yo.
This is our first episode of my Notes to Younger Me series. We're gonna start off. Uh, we'll
You
start
ready to
off
go?
with talking about relationship red flags.
Ooh, that's a hot one.
And man, so basically, I've noticed that in relationships, what you got? In relationships, be it romantic relationship, business relationships, how close you are with your family, neighbors. One thing about growing up is that not all red flags are made known to be serious. Like a lot of jokes are made about relationship red flags, uh, but we have to remember that these are serious things we must consider when joining interests with anyone, no matter be it business, friendship, or romantic.
Right.
So, one of the major red flags that I wish I would have been able to been told how big a deal it is matching um, motivation or having similar abilities to motivate yourself towards a goal, no matter how important it is, but mostly towards the things that are most important. So if you got somebody who was born in a family that's always done okay and they never really was taught about money, they're not going to be forwardly focused on making sure that money is set to the side for bills because that wasn't something that was made a humongously important to them growing up. Now, that's not for all people that are raised in the middle class, but you got to understand that someone who was born in a family underneath a parent constantly complaining about how to pay bills is going to grow up different than somebody who is raised that hey, everything is going to be okay as long as you know such and such and such. You know? So, for example, when I was younger, I was in a relationship with a young lady, and I moved into the apartment with her, and she
Mm.
had a pretty decent job, and I was hustling or whatever, and so that everything was straight. You know, it wasn't like no big deal at all because she was already there and she was already able to handle herself just fine. And then when I came into the situation, it was just a bonus for her and for me. I didn't have to worry about the basics, and she didn't have to worry about the extras. You know what I'm saying? And so we
Right.
played like that. Um, and it's because both of us were similar in understanding what our priorities were and taking care of our own priorities. And if you have somebody who is heavily dependent, or they need somebody to give them direction, some independent minded person really can't deal with that, or somebody who works better alone can't deal with somebody who has to have a team effort. So
Right.
being able to identify that early in a relationship is humongous.
Those are facts. Mine would be having when selecting women. If you don't have kids, make sure she don't. I didn't get how important that was until later on. But yeah, if you already got a kid in the mix before you go to get to know each other, there's never a phase where you guys put each other first, you know. So I feel that could be a key point in a lot of modern relationships. You got your session? Okay, we're gonna have to slide then. Ready to go home? Ready to go home? Okay.
Mhm. So on that, Hmm. Now, yeah, that gets real iffy. It is very important to get the opportunity in the beginning of a relationship where you could put each other first without question, and it is very difficult when there's children already involved, especially if there's a
Facts.
child on one side and not on the other side, because then you can't match energies because there's no such thing.
Precisely. Yeah, mama.
So,
So yeah, that's just my little 2 cents, bro. Make sure you know you go to find someone. Make sure y'all are compatible numerically as well.
yeah, I found that intellectual uh, common ground is humongous too. Who's that?
That's true.
So I read this book about this guy who was running an orphanage
Come on,
in the
mama.
UK, I think it was, and he said it plainly. He said, "Make sure when you get married or you pick a partner that you don't pick somebody way smarter than you or way dumber than you, because at some point you're going to feel like you're either being completely carried or you're doing all the mental carriage." And that can be very taxing on a relationship as well.
True as hell, my boy. So intellectually, yeah, I could agree with that. That may be more important than a lot of things, but at the same time, there's always gonna be an emotional disconnect if the compatibility with the kids aren't there. Cause regardless of what the modern woman think, oh, I don't need a man to raise my kids and this and that, which is true. You don't. I mean, like in the literal sense, but that kid will know, you will know that something will always be missing with that kid if it takes a two-party structure.
Right.
You know, my whole thing is the Holy Trinity is the man, the woman, and child. It takes all three.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And another thing I would say was be careful who you decide to actually very careful where you decide and how you decide to spend your energy. That's the PG
For
13
sure.
version. I don't know how you know once we get
Right.
a little bit, couple more episodes, and I have a feel of the vibes. But yeah, that's my PG 13 version of that. Careful where you dispense your energy
For real.
because even though that moment of gratification, it lasts for a lifetime.
Then
On another note, what else you got on the docket?
she one of my biggest uh-ohs ever was one was not understanding how important tradition was to the other person.
Oh, that's big.
You know, and that really is going to like make or break the early stages of like uncertainty to me. Like if you meet a girl and you love the way she looks and you love the way she talks, this, that, and the third, and you get so stuck on that momentary excitement even before any kind of encounter or intimacy, you may forget to ask, what she expects from her household living situation, or uh, who she expects to do the yard work, to take the trash out, to do the dishes, the cooking, who's supposed to be the creative entrepreneur first, who's supposed to go to school first, who's, a lot of these things don't sound like they matter. But when you're a person who is highly motivated with a good plan already in place, and you get somebody who is just going whichever way the wind blows them, you can run into a lose lose situation.
Facts.
Even with these modern relationships, a lot of people aren't transparent about what they want and what they need because they aren't certain themselves.
Mhm. My bad. What you saying, bro?
Mm. I was saying a lot of people don't have the ability to be transparent what it is they're looking for in a relationship because they don't know what it is they're looking for in a relationship. Everybody believes that what they're looking for in a relationship are attributes can describe about another person's physical.
Facts. I dig that. But yo, bro, that's a deep. I could go on for days on this, my boy. Another
No,
thing I would say,
Hmm?
what happened?
I said, nah, them all the red flags that I feel like are important. I don't even want to. I don't even like to going into those if maybes or rare situations.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, it's always gonna be something we gotta work through.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, time doesn't just heal everything, but you don't have to heal if you properly planned and built and grew it in the first place.
Whew, I couldn't have said it better.
Right, you know.
Ch- um, on another note, I wanted to also ask you, do you think what do you think about women who get impregnated by men who's in prison or form relationships with men who's already in a bad circumstance?
That is a very scary conversation because you can go all the way from oh man, what is what is his name? It was right on the tip of my tongue, man. Um, the white man that was in prison had all these women fall in love with him.
Ted Bundy?
Bundy. You have that right where it's essentially the man who is the driver of that vehicle, but then you have the situation where I got a friend of mine. She uh, stayed in contact with a dude that we grew up with because he went to prison when we was real young. He finally came home. They got together. She had a baby. They got married. It was cool. Then I got a cousin of mine up north that just got killed because of how he was living in prison. And then when he got home, he wanted to suddenly be a good citizen. And then the gang didn't like that, and he was taken out. So you got, and then the girl who been holding him down since he was locked up is now pregnant with his kid, and he gone. So
Oh
you got
wow.
that. Oh, you got the guys who live criminal lives, like my little brother that just got killed earlier this year. He always in trouble, so he didn't get in a relationship while he was in prison, but you know, when he was in relationship, he was constantly in prison, or in jail, or fighting a case, or on the run, or something. And sometimes that in itself could be a trap.
Okay, so let's make this discussion a little bit more appropriate for general demographic. Let's say um you're a female evaluating this male on giving him a chance, and you know the activities he do would not amount to the future that you wish to hold and build for yourself.
Uh,
But yet you still want to have this guy kid for whatever reason it may be.
well, I'm saying so. There, I have known, I have known for women to say that that they would like to have the children and not the relationship with the adult male.
Yeah, that
Okay,
happens.
so that in that case, that benefits at least the one party. Um, how does it become a conjugal visit so the man at least gets his pleasurable release at least once, or something for when that happens, or like I don't know how that plays out because I know
But
he
that's what
probably
I'm
does.
saying. Okay, let's say, okay, this man never agreed to have this child, but this woman wanted this child. And let's say she didn't even tell him about the child.
Right,
But whatever circumstance happened to where now she need this guy. You get what I'm saying?
right. Hmm. As long
My
as the
thing
tender,
is that a lot of situations where women like to preach, deadbeat fathers and this and that is like self created situations.
right. There's a lot of that. But to be honest, if a woman doesn't want a relationship but she wants the baby, that's cool as long as the narrative doesn't change, as long as the desires don't change, as long as you can handle that kid wanting to know who their daddy is, and you can handle, hey, listen, I don't really know who he is like that. I wanted you. I ain't really care about nothing else. Nothing else
Right.
really matters.
Let's
And we
not
got to
make
hope
up
that
no
the kid
BS
believes you.
story.
Right. Like that it's not, let's not say he went to the military and died a hero. And you've been going to kiss this man's star your whole baby life, and then all of a sudden you meet up with this man's real family at the gravesite. Now you making them uncomfortable because they trying to figure out if there was a second family they didn't know about now.
That part.
It just gets too crazy. But when there's plenty of good men available, but the issue is acceptance of the good. See, when searching for a partner, we as people have an issue with wanting more than what we deserve. And so even if we say we're looking for this, this, and this in a person, we couldn't even ask the person that fits that criteria what it is they look for in a person, and measure ourselves up against that ruler and see if we even can stand a chance.
That's a
But
good question.
that takes a, that takes a strong person to look that deep within yourself to say, hey, I'm not worthy of who I wish I could deserve, and so I'm going to now improve myself so much so that by the time I do meet somebody that can slow me down enough to pay attention, they'll be the right one.
Ooh, that shouldn't be. I don't know. I
But
don't know
that
what that whole slow you down thing. I think that's somewhat of a deal breaker because I don't think no one wants to be slowed down. They want someone who can help them either, accomplish things quicker
okay,
or more
slow.
efficiently.
When I say slowing down doesn't particularly mean delaying the
Progress.
goal, the progress. You know what I'm saying? When I say slow down, or when I'm driving down the road trying to get to wherever on time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm at the stoplight. I'm still on go, but I slowed down long enough to look at this tree that's blooming on the side of the street. And then I
Got
take the
you.
time to appreciate the beauty of the creation I am beholding, while I'm still not going to be delayed any which way, shape, or form from my progress. Because the stoplight is still going to be here, and I still have to allow other people to pass. Hey,
Got
mammy.
you.
There he is.
I had to do some homework.
All right. You got graded?
No, my son did though. And he got an A.
Good. There you go. All right. Now
So,
remember, we live now, so if his teachers see this, we don't want to say that, but we would just help. We weren't the answers, right? We would just help.
oh no, never that.
Right.
I didn't even help him. I just watched him.
Supervision. It's called supervision.
That's it.
Wait a minute. So
But
yeah,
look,
so I was
this,
we're gonna bring you up to speed by this is Prophet, man. We're gonna say what's up to Prophet. He joining in late. It's cool. Geechee was late to class too. But hey King, go ahead and ask him the first question so I can handle Junior real quick.
I got you. All right, Prophet, what's your relationship red flag, my boy?
If they
What's
like
something
cats,
you no hold up. All right, think he's a concept. Something you could a red flag you could have told your younger self.
all right, here's one. If their
Oh
name
God.
starts with a letter from the alphabet, run.
Hold up, nigga. Which alphabet?
Well, I've been, what'd
Which
you say?
alphabet?
Oh, any hieroglyphics, any of it. Shit, shapes, circles, whatever the case may be, just run. No, seriously
If they
though,
name
if I could really give myself some advice, it would have been to slow down. Just
mm,
slow the fuck down. In a rush to get nowhere, you feel me?
ooh, that's a good one. Like I like that one.
Yeah,
No one said that one.
I would just
I
slow
said
down.
that's a nice topic. I'm sure Chaos gonna take the wheel now. Look like he getting settled then.
Hey, man.
Let me grab my
What,
vape. I need to
what's a
smoke.
red flag? What's a red flag you wish you would have seen and identified properly as a young man?
Um, as a young man now, are you asking as
Any
like
kind of
from a
relationship.
relationship?
Is I'm talking about friendship, romantic, business relationship. Is it something that you notice like now with your 2020 hindsight that you're
Right.
able to be like, if I would have noticed that beforehand, like I wish I could tell myself about this because if I would have seen that ahead of time, I'd be winning right
Um, damn, I can't find my vape. I would have to
I
say,
got one.
oh, go ahead.
Um, I simply gonna say fuck I forgot. Geechee threw me off. Go ahead, my boy, my bad.
now.
No, I like that though. Don't spill seeds before your time. That's the truth. But then again, when is the right time? Is there a right time?
Yeah, yeah, there is a right time.
Is it?
Yeah,
There it is.
way late. Talking about when I say way late, I mean once you what's called I call it a solid foundation. And a solid foundation is characterized by completely dried concrete, right?
Yeah.
So when I
Mm-hmm.
say solid
But
foundation, I'm talking about your income has to be solid, your investment plan has to be solid, your retirement plan has to be in place.
all right, but then let's okay, let's say that, and then let's try to compare that to today's generation. That's not going to happen. Today's generation is about instant gratification. Today's generation don't want to put work into anything. If it's not working, then they'll just hop on a website or an app and switch their entire, their
Yeah.
entire self, entire being, entire outlook on life. Everything changes. I think what social media has done to today's generation, love life and everything, just life in general, is just, I don't know, really crippled it.
Well, I'm saying, dude, what? So you don't think that if enough of us can clearly state the problem and the solution in a package that we could give to the young people, you don't think that we can um, uh, cut back some of this promiscuity that we have in our society? You think we can
I'm
at
not
least get
saying we can't.
we can't get a group of
Yeah.
people to say, hey, maybe it's right. We got all these guys that got to the goods as soon as they wanted to. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And chase
Yeah, I'm
girls.
not saying we can't, but what I'm saying is it's just it's a lot of I mean, not to be pessimistic, but it's just so much more, views on what's going on and portraying social media like that. Just there's not enough of us, like us that see we have to put our views out on social media to even get our point across. So that there just states another fact.
Right.
It's crazy. It's the way that it is has nurtured our generation since babies. With dial up AOL, when you would get it on a little CD and put it on your computer and have, AOL for a week. And then, then you don't have dial up internet again until you get another DVD or whatever it was. From then to now, it's just that's what we've known is online and internet. And it has just taken too big of a chunk of our lives.
That's true. Your boy Geechee say self-discipline. That's a good one
That's a
too.
fact. Mm-hmm.
But not
So you think the age of manhood would be different if the educational system was truly built to efficiently prepare us for manhood?
Yeah, but that's not their job. Their job isn't to do that. That's a man's job for a young man. That's a dad's job and a parent's job as to do that. I wouldn't necessarily blame school systems or education for that.
No, not saying
But what I
blame.
do,
I'm saying transfer the responsibility to the
to
properly
them,
built structure of education. I'm not saying take what we know as education. I'm
right?
saying restructure the education system and and asking if that restructuring would turn into a younger adult or a younger person being prepared for adulthood.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it starts with what you do decide to teach, and the learnings that we do pick up on, because repetition is the father of learning, first and foremost. And whatever is repeated to us over and over is something we're going to learn. Our brain works in patterns; it picks up on patterns. That's how we learn. That is how we memorize things and categorize things and decompartmentalize things within our brain. Is through certain patterns that we see and recognize. So I feel as if we had, different types of classes in order to not necessarily teach us the curriculars in which how we do math, but instead how we're going to use it relatively towards life. I think it's not necessarily the equation you're learning, but how it's put out. How it's drawn out is more important. Is what I'm getting at. You see what I'm saying? And it's
Yeah.
just I feel we focus on the wrong things in school to begin with to even get us on the right path. It's just it's a big letdown, especially
That's
public
a fact.
school. I can't speak for private school, but public school most definitely. We've been through it, so it's a huge letdown.
And one thing I feel is necessary even to get there is to build the traditional family structure back then, that's almost non-existent. And I don't mean
Yeah,
like
but the government wants to tear that down. They're systematically making it to where there can't be two-parent households. That's what you call Section 8 and governmental assistance. They make sure that the man is not even in the picture or living with the mother in order to even get said assistance. So it starts with the little things like who's in office and not necessarily our president, but governors and things like that, city officials, in order to stop those things from happening. Why can it be that a woman can only get governmental assistance if the man isn't in the picture? That makes it to where the man shouldn't be in the picture in order for it to be a steady household. You know what I mean? Just because there's two people within that household doesn't mean that they don't need assistance and government assistance and a helping hand. And I feel
right.
it should be I feel it should go towards, you know, the income base and not just parent, based or number of people within the household. You know what I mean? Like that's where the government fails us to begin with. Like they make it to where we're not able to succeed.
Yeah. So we fighting against a power or a group of persons, in your
Correct.
opinion, Prophet.
Correct. Correct. And I feel we're being, systematically held down and incapable of being able to change the structure and within the way we inform our children.
Right. And
And that's dangerous.
protecting and educating children is the key to the future that we need.
Correct. That without our children, without our reproductions, there is no future. And what they pick up
So,
on and what they see is going to be our future, whether we like it or not. Our most important
big
job is
facts.
to teach.
For
What's up?
sure.
No, those are cadence.
There you go, Cadence.
But I mean, I appreciate that, brother. I'm definitely going to be on here a lot more. Mr. Geechee.
Yeah.
It's
So,
crazy out here, man. It's crazy.
so any other red flag relationship or situational red flags you would tell your own self? Anybody? Any
Um,
comment? Or
impatience. If you notice an impatience within the way things are being, at the beginning, are being taken, and if you feel as if things are going too fast and nothing is being said about that from either person, either party, that's a huge, incredibly huge red flag.
The key to survival is walking the straight line.
Yeah.
hmm,
The key to the future is linear.
I'm just saying, you walk a straight line, basically saying you follow the law, you learn the law, you learn the rules, you learn, you'll survive. So, simply put, walk the straight line, keep a cool head.
and this has been uh
Does anybody else though feel sometimes it's just, as black males, we're just surviving and we're not necessarily living? Does anybody ever feel like that? Because I do.
shit. It's a daily thought, man.
It's
It's a
just like
construct. You gotta break out that construct. But yeah, that's a whole fact, bro. It's a whole fact.
just the thought of me not wanting to raise my kids in the South. I don't. I really don't. I want to give them some type of like actual culture.
Hmm. It's in the process, man. This community is on the way.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate y'all jumping on the panel with me for the first episode of Notes to Younger Me.
You
Always.
already know, bro.
KCDG, The Prophet,
In the building.
this is King Chaos. We out.
All right, y'all.